So we are here to welcome Professor Dr. TPS Sasikuma from India, and he will be sharing with us on strategic plan to achieve SDG or any goals. That means Sustainable Development Goals. Dr. TPS Sasikuma from India is a live mentor and my own lifetime mentor. Space scientist, says science communicator, poet, author, educationist, motivational speaker, psychological life, career counseling expert, image building, peak performance coach, spiritual master with Himalayan tradition, conscious living commune associate, exponent on Indian heritage, philosophy, Bhagavad Gita, and Sanatana Dharma. So far, since 2000, for the past 22 years, reached more than 1 million, each teachers, parents, and students. So that is the meaning of TPS, if you are if you are curious to know. Hundreds of interviews on TV and media, Discover TV with Kuba Mela Talk, acting in short films. I really want to see one of your films. TED Talk, UNESCO Talk, and Bhagavad Gita classes, workshops, and residential camp for 1,048 hours non-stop classes, 6,500 students in a section for 6 hours, 50,000 public and 1,200 BTech in section, and special to Dr. TPS. Cover physically at Fiji, UK, USA, Gulf, Hong Kong, every nook and corner of India. 2 years, over 1,000 virtual sections, including regular masterclass in UK. Lead Philippines Science and Technology and Management, South Korea interaction classes, apart from online mentoring and educational workshop across the globe. More than 3.2 thousand videos reaching 6,000 plus 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. Having experience with very traditional from Brahmacri KPC, silence from Himalayas Raman traditional with Mahamadaleswa Swali by Atos and many Indians Sanatama heritage from traditional guru. Dr. TPS is into 5-fold holistic development with Eastern philosophy. Dr. TPS worked as a scientist in space department for 2 decades. He worked as director of UGC Academy Staff College and went on to serve as a deputy director at Directorate General of Security Cabinet Secretariat, New Delhi, before taking a voluntary retirement in 2009 to serve the society, especially Yes You Can International and Yes You Can International Academy. Oh well, so associate with university as professor, head in mathematics and management, and executive director of engineering college. Through corporate social responsibility, advisor and sober developer, executive director of SyncGet, CSR on education with Sopna developer, and being founder and director of the Guardian Public School, and being CEO of Sixers Grammar Child Care Foundation, made innovative model in youth education. I know if I continue all this, we will spend a whole day. But I'm just gonna show it just to appreciate him and appreciate his time, because it's not just another ordinary person. He's a professor with purpose, traveling all over the world, within the India and outside India, to deliver valuable information that can help us in our social, spiritual, mental, emotional, and also our academic life. So I will not be able, but I know something that Dr. TPS is in many international bodies as a mentor and consultant and advisor, supporting the directors of their activities across the globe. If you want to get in touch, direct to Professor Dr. TPS, www.drtps.saxa.in. And if you didn't get it, maybe you will get the email address drtpsasikuma@gmail.com, and the telephone number +91 9447 437948 if you really want to get in touch. But I know that by the time you're listening to him this morning, you will be curious to want to learn more from him. And that is why, and being my lifetime mentor, that is the main reason why I have to give, so that you also can share and draw and drink from his wealth of wisdom, knowledge, and experiences. You are welcome, sir. And let me use this time to quickly welcome Alhaji Ambassador Dr. Onike Ramoni. Welcome, sir. Okay, so I'm welcoming Professor Dr. TPS Sasikuma from India to deliver his valuable information for us to learn this morning. You're welcome, sir.
Namaste.
Let me also use this time to welcome Coach Ediana. Thank you for joining us. Matulescu Kano, thank you for joining us. Inga from Georgia, thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, sir.
Namaste, pranams. Thank you. I think I will send you a shorter description so that you will not trouble much. No,
Yes.
and I'm sure I'm attending some programs like this just because my contact with few individuals around this world. The other day I was talking to the Philippines, and I was thinking it's just because of my sister Queen Elizabeth I got connected to Mario, and Mario called me for a program. So it's some personal references. Yes, here and there I'm into some lectures, but what I enjoy generally is going around physically, meeting young children, the teachers who are in the villages, talking to them. And yes, day after tomorrow I'm traveling to Sri Lanka. And what do I do when I go for such programs? I study about the land, understand how my knowledge can be put into that. So I just finished writing a book on how education system in Sri Lanka can be changed. So I'm giving a lecture on adaptive learning. Adaptive learning, how we get adapted, or how people can get adapted to the technology available in the world, so that the learning becomes so simple. Just now I made a reel which says education in the third decade of 21st century. Education is not to be talked about centuries. Many people keep talking about education in century. Century is um, century is 100 years. So I believe people should not talk about education for 100 years. People should talk about education for next generation. People talk about next generation. Next generation is again, next generation is not the right word to be used, because next generation is 20 years. It is not 20 years. We have to talk about education for immediate. Immediate means, if I can talk, third decade is 2021 to 2030, and we have already crossed 4 years. We are on the 3.5 years crossed time. July we are talking 2024. So we have next 5.5 years only. Suppose we can talk about 5.5 years program in education. That itself is a great thing, because education moves very fast. Technology moves much faster. What we have seen 2 years back is not the technology today we are using. Technology moves much, much, much faster. So, what is that we are talking? When we talk about the today's topic, only I am coming to. Today's topic is strategy. Strategy means long term planning. So, the question is how long I should think about the strategies. Is it that strategy which I talk about immediate? Then it cannot be strategy. Something very far. How far is the question? Because world is moving very fast. Anything which happens next month is little far. Anything which happens next year is also very far, because world changes so fast. People are moving very fast. So the old definition of strategy is not today's definition of strategy, because scale changed, the speed changed. Earlier when I talk about my community, my place, that was only a small village where I belonged to. In my childhood, my place means my village. Today when I talk about my place, means the whole world is my place. I am sitting in one place, and then diagonally opposite to somebody is sitting in America. I am able to connect. I am able to connect in between to London. The other day I was talking about the strategic development of business. Again, thanks to my sister Queen Elizabeth only. Because of that Mario lead Philippines program. Under part of that, there was a university of the Christian University Philippines. I was talking about strategic planning of international business. And luckily, that was on 6th day for yesterday, July. And 5th July is the Prime Minister of UK changed. So I was referring what happened one day earlier, or maybe few hours earlier to my talk, what happened in UK. And the traditional policies which UK followed for 14 years will not be the policy when the Labour Party come into power. So all the strategic plan relationship between one country to another country have to be changed now. See how dynamic. Nobody would have thought. Nobody would have thought there is going to be a change in the UK policy. So a friendly country becomes little not friendly. Probably a country with a different trade business will change it to a new. So what is strategy? It is not time. It is how politically, geopolitically, how technologically, how academically, how education wise I am going to plan very thoughtfully, using good presence of mind, immediate, very fast, globally, nationally, locally, and individually. See, the strategy is not a great word which only policymakers can think. My strategy in dealing with somebody, my strategy in dealing with an organization, my strategy dealing with the local, national, global. So I loved the title, strategy in SDG and other plans. So other plan is my plan. Correct. 2015 to 2030 is SDG, United Nations plan. United Nations planned for 15 years how the sustainable development goal has to happen. And if you read all the 17 points, there are 17 points in the United Nations, 17 goals in the sustainable development goals. But I wrote a book, SDGs. And SDG 108 Bharatiya, the Indian 108 goals of SDG. The SDG word is same, but that is called the Sanatana Dharma goals. What is Sanatana Dharma? That is what I started with my lecture. Sanatana Dharma is the traditional, what culture I had, what tradition I had, what knowledge I had, what rituals I had, what is my state of life in this country for millions of years. Take that lesson from that and work holistically for the whole world generation of knowledge, generation of wisdom, with exactly changing with the time. So ultra modern with most heritage knowledge together is called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is not a stable book which says everybody has to follow this. No. Indian traditional Hindu concept is based on timely change in all your policies. That is what just now I told. You have to think globally. Vasudhaiva Kudumbagam. Vasudhaiva Kudumbagam. The whole world is one village. See, that is what today's global village concept. You know what? The Vasudhaiva Kudumbagam, which exactly means the global village, is written in the textbook of Sanatana Dharma, the Indian traditional knowledge textbook, millions of years back. When the humanity started, we have got one yuga, one time period which talks about all these concepts. We have to consider the whole world as one. The whole world as one. That is the concept. The SDG also talks about that. Sustainable development means I must share my resources, share my knowledge. Once upon a time, the India had the greatest knowledge system in which people used to come from different countries and settle here to learn. Many people from different parts of the world came and stayed here to learn. Maybe some invasion from different time, India has lost its tradition, but still each and every person in the village still hold the tradition. And what is it says? It says we have to sit together and eat together, learn together. The prayer is saying that. And the prayer says, let me sit together with the people. Let me eat together with the people. Let me share my time with the people. That is sustainability. Let me share everything what I have. Right? So that concept is sustainability, and that I have to have a global, I have to have a national. Dharma is what is Sanatana Dharma goals. I wrote the book. What is Dharma? Dharma is not my rights. People talk about human rights. It is not right. It is my responsibility. More important is my responsibility. Responsibility not in talking. The other day I was in a place called Calcutta. That is where the first British people started their first business of the all that politically started later, but first it was business. And that came to the place called Calcutta. I was giving a talk there. And somebody asked, how do you make people responsible? So what I did was, somebody was sitting in front of me. I asked him, get out of the class. It was a physical 200 people sitting in front of me. Somebody was asking a question, how do you make people responsible? So what did I do? Immediately somebody was sitting just in front of him. I said, stand up, get out of the class. And that person whom I was asking get out, they were thinking, why this man is asking me to get out? Everybody was looking at me. Nobody was responding. I said, what is the question that somebody asked? Respond. What is the response? Somebody should raise hand and ask, why are you asking me to get out? What mistake this candidate has done, who is sitting in front of you asking them to go out? Nobody responded. So what is response? When something happened to my neighbor, when something happened to my colleague who is sitting beside me in my class, if anything happens in the society, not for me, but for my neighbor, consider it as equivalent to me, and then give the hand for helping them immediate. That ability is called response. It is not in words, and I demonstrated. There is a small reel which I kept saying that what is the response means. That is called dharma, Sanatana Dharma. Sustainable development goals means when somebody is looting the resources of one country for making profit, the whole world has to rise up and say, no, you cannot do it. It is not that you can do business by making somebody really starve in this country. That ability politically, when people have, I am ready to share all the resources together, is what is international cooperation. There is no point in saying international cooperation and we don't individually cooperate. Right? So nationally I should cooperate, individually I should cooperate, and internationally I should cooperate. So the global sustainability comes from mobilizing resources, holding countries together, holding countries accountable for the whole environment around. Environment is not political boundaries. The air will not say that, this is my air in my country, the other air is in the other country. You cannot take a wind from one country to another country. Nature is ready to share everything each other. Water can flow from one country to another country. I cannot keep a boundary there and then say water cannot flow, air cannot flow. So if I pollute one country, it is not I am polluting one country, I am polluting the whole world. Therefore, my responsibility individually, locally, nationally, internationally. In Indian Dharma, Bharatiya Dharma, Indian traditional knowledge, it says Swa means myself. So Dharma, family Dharma, Kudumba Dharma, societal Dharma, my people around me, I have got one responsibility to them. And then I have a responsibility to my office where I am working. So you have got a strategy to be planned how I am going to work in my organization. So highlight your initiatives, what you are going to do. That can be United Nations SDG project. That can be your organization, your plans, the specific plans. What am I going to do? That also can be a strategy. Now look at what is that United Nations talking for the whole world. The whole world is, you are a part of that world. Your organization is a part of that world. Your local community is part of that world. The nation is part of that world. I cannot have cleaning my house and throwing the dust in somebody's place. I'm actually polluting somebody's place, then I'm not doing the justice. What I should do? I should see that how my waste is recycled, what cannot be recycled, how do I make sure that it will not affect the next generation. It is not today and tomorrow, it is the whole world. I don't know how many people have seen the Seaspiracy, Cowspiracy, such programs, the movies, documentaries available. We understand any small pollution which we do in the sea is against sustainable development. Probably United Nations must not have seen that. But no, as an individual, as a nation, I have got a big seashore. The whole nation cleans means every bit of the seashore is clean. Whether I can walk on the seashore barefooted without any trouble, all the sand on my seaside where I can relax, whether it is clean, do I have any waste there? So cleaning up of the environment is sustainable development goal. It means I am taking care of my neighborhood. So focus on the city, focus on the community, focus on the plans, infrastructure. When I am developing infrastructure, any project which I do, either part of my organization, part of my own building structure, part of an individual, part of a nation, whether it is going to make some difficulty for somebody else. Therefore, the participation of individual is very, very important. Prioritizing my goal along with my neighbor's comfort. What is not acceptable to my neighbor is not acceptable to my neighbor country also. What is not acceptable to the next organization, next factory, and next settlement beside my factory, if I am throw something else, I understand I am going against not just my neighborhood, I am going against the United Nations policy. That means that is where people look at it. If one person in a country misbehaves with me, the next time somebody from that country come and talk to me, I realize, oh, this person is from this country. I saying that no, this person is not good because he belongs to this country. So every individual represents a country as a citizen. So growing you from an individual to a citizen, I'm using words very carefully, and as individual to a citizen of a nation, a individual growing from a nation to an international personality. That is the strategy, that is the partnership, that is the evaluation, that is the monitoring, that is the responsibility. which additional responsibility for each one of us. If we can understand that, we become successful as an individual, we can represent the nation, we become a citizen of the nation. So sharing, caring, loving, all that is part of the world. How do we achieve this? I believe that can be achieved only when we have happiness, we have love, we have knowledge, we have all the resources what we want. The world trade relationship between countries to countries says that if I import something, I should have export. So the other day I was talking about the trade balance. Your country becomes rich only when you have a positive trade balance. If you have a negative trade balance, that means you are not able to make product values which worth exporting to the different countries. So why is it happening? Is it because you don't have resources? Yeah, if you don't have resources, what can be done? Get the raw material from somewhere, use your money, use your people, give good facilities, and then create a value added product from your land and export to different countries. You can be a production oriented country. See, most of the Gulf countries in the Asia are deserts. Almost there is nothing, no vegetation, no greenery at all. But they have developed so much from 1970 to 2020 for 50 years. You know, when United Kingdom was ruling the UAE, United Arab Emirates, they have vacated in 1970. Britishers left and gave freedom to them, thinking that no, there is nothing there. But just 2-3 years after that, they found there is a lot of oil. The resources was under the earth. It was not visible. I'm sure if it was visible, British would not have left it that easy. 1950s, most of the countries were gone from the British rule, but Gulf country was still ruled by. No, they were the people who are ruling. But I'm sure if they know the resources is below that, no country will leave it because that is that rich. Today, most of the Gulf countries make a lot of money because of oil. Understood? So what is resource which you have? Probably you don't have greenery on top of you. All once upon a time, what greenery was there has gone under the earth. That is why it has become a barren land. So if you don't have any resources on top of the ground, look under the ground. And you know how much resource we have in the sea. There are great pearls available around different nations. And many people make a lot of money out of the pearls which comes from the sea. And that is like most precious pearls. The money which comes is great. So the earth has got so much of wealth. I'm sure for the next many millions of years, it will be abundantly available. But if you have greed, words are very specifically used. If you have greed, earth will not give you those resources. We have to have a need only. Mahatma Gandhi said once, the earth has sufficient resources to satisfy your needs, but not your greeds. So use it very carefully. Don't become too greedy. Tell some countries who are trying to loot some other country in the world, be careful. Actually, you are digging your own graveyard. Because when you are actually digging too deep and then spoiling the place, you will have much more difficulty. It is not the global warming. I'm not talking about the global warming problems at all. Because sometime it will be too hot. But I'm sure when the temperature become more, definitely the seawater will get evaporated. And all that cannot stay on the top of the cloud. Any time when the cloud is too heavy, it will start downpouring, rain will come. So even if you have got more temperature, it means you are going to get a lot of rain. Assume that you are polluting with carbon dioxide. What trees require is carbon dioxide. That means you are going to grow a lot of trees. But understand, carbon dioxide is not dangerous, but carbon monoxide is dangerous. So you must have technology mechanism to understand how you can convert this slowly. What is strategy? Now people are more interested in no polluting car. You want battery running car. Nothing wrong. But understand what is used for making battery. All the chemistry, chemicals used for making battery, that is coming from earth only. And those resources will spoil, and those mining process will spoil. All that wastage comes out of battery after some time will become much more dangerous, because they are not renewable, non-renewable energy only again. So what you leave behind by using the resources of earth to live, what you leave behind for living cannot be a vulnerable wastage which will create a lot of problems for the people. The highlight of strategy is not making profit for the shorter region, the shorter time span, the shorter locality, my country. No, for me, no. Understand how the impact is going to be. I may be making a profit now, but I should look at how my profit of finance management of today is going to change trouble for the people which they will have to use for treatment tomorrow. So all that what you make income today is going to waste on the treatment of diseases which you will not be able to stop. We have been suffering with such problems today. That is what is required. So it is not that 2015 to 2030 SDG goals are great. No. In 1970s UNDP came, United Nations Development Programs. United Nations Development Programs, which was the original program of United Nations, and they said everyone should have education. Now sustainable development growth says everybody should have good education. Does it mean 50 years back United Nations want a bad education for people? Why are we renaming and then putting the same wine in the new bottle? That is just because if you don't remind people, people forget. UNDP is a plan. Now the same plan. So don't tell that SDG is a great no vision. Lot of new plans came. No, the UNDP when it is planned for 50 years it was fine. But SDG you think it is only 15 years. That is because what was thought 50 years back for 50 years is a different strategy, and today that strategy in a new world, 321 world, has to be redefined because the world is running fast, politics is moving fast. Earlier one country was ruling 100 years. Now 14 years that country, one politics to another politics, people have changed. 100 years back UK was ruling the whole world. Now UK itself is changing its policy in 14 years. Understood? So don't you think strategies have to be changed? It is not a long term plan. It's a plan according to the geopolitics, according to the technology development, according to the time in which speed we have to move, also have to be very responsibly thought about. This is what I think. I can speak hours together on this, but I should not do that mistake. Correct? I should stop somewhere and then we should have some dialogue of understanding each
That's
other.
succinct.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Professor TPS Asikuma. You're doing very well. We really, I mean, you open our eyes to new scenario. You make us to think deep. That is why this masterclass is all about masterclass. I mean, it's all about mindset. Because, like I always say, transformation is not overnight. I'm glad that you mentioned it, that the goals, the SDG goals that the UN has established within 20s and 30s is a very is a reminder. Not that we're not doing it, but we need to be reminding ourselves and also to adapt it to the present situation, because some of the plans and policy that we have set aside for the past 20 years, 30 years, 40 years might not be working for us now. So that is why the UN come up with that strategy. Let us plan. The planning of the strategy is not only within that year of 2020 to 2030. It's the plan, plan after 2030. That is what you make us to understand, that any strategy we are planning now is not immediate. Yes, we've been working on, we just need to adapt the new strategies to what we're doing. And this we go a long way. Yeah, they set the goals to achieve within the short period, but then we can extend it, because it's supposed to, we need to have the mind of long term, because that's the way we can achieve it.
True.
And I really appreciate that. But first of all, I'd like to ask a question out of curiosity. The book you just showed us, is it in your language, or is
No,
it
it's in
also
English. It's in English in our language.
amazing? Amazing. So people like us can read it.
Voice, voice, voice.
Can
See,
I
this
have a
talks
copy?
about nurturing gratitude, embracing humility, dharma for sustainable future, the antidote to chaos, the liberating power of Krishna, the unbreakable thread, finding our center, dharma for all, that means responsibility for all, chasing clarity, the heart of dharma, finding the still point, you are the universe, you are the universe, embracing holistic wellness, harmony amidst chaos. Every page is one point. I have written only one point, one page, another point, another page. So 108 points, 108 pages. That's a book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how can we get it?
Yeah, I will
I
send
mean,
you. I
especially
will
if I
send you the
want it.
PDF. I will send you the PDF anybody wants. I print only
Okay.
very few copies, and I'm not selling any of my books. It is just for circulation.
Yes, I know.
People
I
should
know.
get knowledge, and then people should read. So this
Yes.
is anybody who wants, you can contact me on WhatsApp, on my email. I will send it to you. Maybe I will put it onto my website, because website is controlled by somebody else. Otherwise, I will put it onto my blog, and then I can share this. No issue. I can share
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay. And
No
then
issue.
when you start sharing, you'll be breaking it down for us
Yeah, yeah.
gradually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm
So,
sure, sister, I can send you the PDF. You can read it, or you can print
yes.
it and then sell it to somebody else also. No problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And that is an opportunity for us to grab one of our great professor in the world. The book is free. Wow. I'm learning fast from you, sir. Ever since I've been asking you some questions, and it's been renewing my mindset, because one thing I learned about you and from you is whatever we are producing now is not for now,
No.
it's for the future. I mean, everything we are producing now is for us to enlighten the mind, to engage the mind, to help others to renew and grow their mindset. And this kind of books that you have is like a reference. Remember when olden days, when you have a big shelf, you have all your books there. It's not for decoration. It's only that sometimes maybe you want to treat one topic and you need more information, more knowledge, and even reference. That's why you can pick up the book, which sometimes it might not be a longer term for the technology, because technology is already failing us.
No, I keep
That's why
changing. I keep saying your hardware changes very fast,
it changes fast.
but software changes little slow.
Yes,
But
yes,
the most you will change all the software and put in the new font, because font as a
yes,
system is changed, but software did not
yes,
change, and your
exactly,
contact is not changed. You transfer all the contacts.
exactly.
Therefore,
And
data doesn't change, knowledge doesn't change, only platform changes.
yes,
So this
yes,
knowledge what
yes.
I have put in this is not mine. It came
It's
from
not
my
it.
traditional knowledge which I gained from my teachers.
Exactly. That
So
you learn from.
yes.
Yes.
So it's nothing is mine.
Amazing.
I am only documenting it in a new format, in a
Yes.
new language, a new interpretation.
Mm, mm,
Okay. So that is
mm.
what I'm doing.
Amazing. Amazing. I remember those days when we used to use cassettes.
Yeah.
And from cassette we have a CD.
Yes.
And then from CD we have MP3, MP4. I know that one is still on at the moment.
My sister, if I go back to my house, if you go to my house, you will see one shelf full of CDs of my lectures.
Wow,
Each
wow.
lecture I have copied 1 hour only will go to one CD. So
CD.
I used to record and then write it in a CD and keep it there. And so many are there, hundreds and thousands. Now only we have got YouTube in which we can upload. Those days YouTube was not allowing to upload only 1 minute, 2 minute.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So, but the full
Wow,
lecture is there with me even now. For last 24 years, maybe
wow.
thousands of lectures which I gave. Sometimes I listen myself and see, is it that I spoke? Oh, I know
Yeah,
this much.
yeah.
Because
Very amazing. Amazing, amazing. I want to ask one question. So I
yeah,
want you to, I know you mentioned it, but it's so important that we understand it more better because probably majority of us, let me add my own as
yeah,
well, majority of us might not understand the difference between satisfy your needs and satisfy your greed.
yeah.
Some of our leaders, some of our leaders need to hear this.
See, I need a phone and which also give all my requirements. Right. Do I need a phone which becomes a flop, a new model, something has come in the market, but this is enough for me today? Why should I buy that? Why people buy is because, oh, I think he has, therefore I should also have. People buy car. There are only two people in the house. Why do you want a car which can have seven-seater?
70. Mm.
If I can travel from here to my next town, it takes only 10 hours. My office was paying by flying, by air. But if I have to travel by air 2 hours before I have to be in the airport, 1 hour I have to travel, it takes 3 hours, and 1 hour flight, 5 hours. And by the time I reach from airport to that place, it becomes 7 hours. So 7 hours I am taking that resources of paying three times more, where I am only saving 3 hours because by train it will take only 10 hours.
10 hours.
And if I fly morning, I have to go, and by the time I reach, it will become 10 o'clock.
Mm.
Morning 3 o'clock, if I have to take a flight, I have to start morning 3 o'clock from my house, then 5 o'clock flight. By the time I reach, it will become 10 o'clock. In fact, evening I can sleep. Instead of sleeping in the house, I can sleep in the train. Next day morning, I am in the city, I can go and fresh up and then reach my office at the right time in the next meeting. I can attend very fresh. So why do you spend more resources when there is a public transport which is available to carry me much cheaper? So during my office time also, when government was paying, I decided if there is no time saving, I will not spend more.
Mm.
If there is time saving, aircraft is better. Suppose I have to travel 24 hours in the train, aircraft will take me for 2 hours, I still prefer that. But if it is a 10 hours journey by train, I will go by train.
Mm.
So why do you look at every resource, what are you using? If I can take a public transport, I should take the public transport instead of driving myself. Assume I have to morning, my son was asking, he has to go to 3 places. I said 3 places you have to go, take the car. Only one place you have to go and come back,
Take the transport.
take a transport.
Mm.
Because 3 places you will have to save time, because I have to go from here to here to here to here there. You may not get public transport, so you are saving time. By driving yourself, if you are saving 3 hours, when 5 hours you have to use a public transport, probably you will have to use it accordingly. Think about it. This is very, very essential. Assume I have a lot of shirts with me and 10 of them, I am not using it. Gift it to somebody. Why should I keep it? Understood? I must be able to
Mm.
share with the people, and then it becomes simple for me, because I am unnecessarily wasting lot of space. I'll tell you, I go most of the places. If you look at my status on my phone, I have written no bouquet, no gift, don't give me anything. Because what are you doing by creating a bouquet? It is not flower. You are using a wrapper, you are using a plastic, all that flower. Assume that I go to a program in some other place, they give me a bouquet. I have to throw it only because I am not going to carry it. And even if I carry, by the time it goes wasted. And what do I do with a lot of with big mementos which I get? It doesn't say me. I said, give me some books. Somebody calls me to a program saying everybody has to be given some awards and rewards. I'll say, gift them my books. When I go to different places, I carry books. I gift to them. That is what I do. I print and gift. Today I'm going to get a 50 plus 30 plus 30. 110 books I am printing, for which I am paying money from my pocket. I am not selling and making money. And I am going to carry this to Sri Lanka to gift it. Got it? So what do I give to people is books. Instead of giving them like a trophy sort of a thing which looks great. No, what do they do? It can be kept in the shelf. But by the time I die, where my name is written, I am sure people will throw it in the dustbin. Understood? I am not the prime minister of the country where people will have a big gallery in which everything is kept for demonstrating, right? Even that is waste, I keep saying. Instead of that, keep books so people can read and learn. So this is where you spend. Where are you spending your time? How are you utilizing your resources? What are you doing? When I joined the Department of Space, we had everybody has to write leave letter. I said no, we have to only put on the digital. Every leave can be applied digitally. Every sanction can happen. Why do you waste paper? You don't have to waste paper. And even somebody asks, generally they ask name, your designation, your salary. My office where I am working, why should I write all this? The office knows what is my salary. Office knows what is my designation. So I used to make fun. What do? I write some other designation. I write some other salary. And the office will call me and say, no, this is not your salary. You know what is my salary, then why are you asking me? You write yourself. Why are you wasting my time asking me to write every time these details? My employment code number is good enough. Every detail should come. Correct? So we have to change our world according to what can be retrieved, what can be sourced, what can be looked at. This is very, very essential. The other day I went to a hotel, they were giving tea in a paper cup. I said, do you have a cup, normal cup, which can be washed? Give me that. So he asked why. I said, I don't want this paper glass. I don't want this paper glass. I am ready to wash. After drinking, I will also ready to wash and give you that, right? Yes, I can understand if there is a water problem. In some country, there is no water. But you have plenty of water. See, when you have what? See, it depends on what you have. Based on that, you make your plans. Just because some country is using where they don't have water, they are using paper. A place where we have water, we should use water, not the paper. Because every paper which you use, every bit of paper is used, you are cutting some tree. Don't forget that. Other day I was having a group of people from Bhutan. The Bhutan people were saying, we never cut any animal to kill. Then I said, do you eat meat? Yes, we eat. How do you get meat without cutting? No, it comes from India. See, some other country cut because our culture says we should not kill. Then I said, why are you eating? See, after killing, we should not waste it. What a policy is this? You kill and I will eat, but I will not kill. let all the curse which comes by killing somebody, you take it. there is a beautiful poem. The poem says, give me one cigar. I will give you one cigar. And after cigarette, you is asking, you give me a lighter. So I will give you the lighter. Then he says, give me the finger to hold my cigarette. Give me your finger. Yeah, give me your finger. And then give me your lips so that I can put it there. But let me enjoy. Let me enjoy. I want the lips of you. I want the fingers of you. I want the lighter of you. I want the cigarette of you. But let me have enjoyment. People have become so selfish. They don't want to do anything, but they want just enjoyment. I'm sure tomorrow there will be a technique of enjoyment. Everything somebody else do and I enjoy.
Yes, AI will do that for them.
AI will do that for them. It's very horrible. We are moving in a
Amazing,
different world.
amazing. Yes. So it's all about prioritizing your needs.
Yeah.
And it's all about making sure that, because sometimes there's also the difference between needs and wants. And I think people go for wants instead of
Yeah.
needs.
See, for example, we had television.
Mm.
Television were so big, and people used to go and switch on, change channel. But today, what is happening? I have a remote. The television is always on. Switch is always on. Otherwise, the remote will not work. So I am not switching off the television today because everything is controlled by remote. So what has happened? Television became lean. People became fat.
Mm.
So it is not
That's
that what we don't do exercise.
mm.
It is all changed. So what is technology development? Television from fat becoming slim, people from slim becoming fat.
But
We become so lazy.
mm.
All technological development is making you lazy. My want make me to become lazy. My need, food is very essential. Water is very essential. But that is my real requirement. What I want enjoyment. Nobody will say I need enjoyment. I need food.
Mm.
That is how you look at it. What is the difference between want and the need? I need food. I want alcohol.
Mm.
That is enjoyment. Correct. Nobody will say I need alcohol. Nobody says.
Mm.
I need a shelter. I want 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Understood the difference?
That's the difference, yes. You need a shelter, or you want a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. So need is minimum requirement and want is greed. Want doesn't have stop. It keeps on increasing.
Mm.
Yeah. See, I want food, roti, kapda makan. I want food. I want dress. I want shelter. These are needs. Immediately I say, I want my girlfriend. I want my boyfriend. That is not a need. That is a want. I want a company. I want to read. I want to have a library. These are all extra. Without that also we can live. Not everybody has. Need is basic for everybody. Want is everything you add on to that.
And I think that is the one that people go for instead of the needs.
Yes.
And that is why causing the trouble in a global problem.
But nothing wrong. When I make more money, my standard of life has to become more. But see that when I get what I want, I also support somebody's need.
Mm. Mm.
I want what I get. I get what I want. That is my growth. My growth is always I want to increase my wants. I want all that great things in my life. But see that somebody is also being supported for their needs.
Mm.
I can support a lot of needs of many people. So let me give that to them.
Okay.
Sahana vavatu, sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu. Let me also have food with everybody. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Let me give courage to everybody to live in this world. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Tejasvina vadhidamastu. Let my wisdom go to everybody to have their wisdom.
Mm.
Right? Ma vidyushavahai. Don't have enmity to anybody in this world. Nobody is my enemy. This is a great prayer which India had for millions of years. Don't ask me who wrote this, when it is. Answer is we don't know. But generations we started chanting this. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vidyushavahai. Let us live together in this world united, without enmity with anyone. It's a great thing. See, understand India is a country never invaded any other country in the world.
Yes.
Not because India is not powerful. There are a lot of small neighboring countries where India is having problem, struggle. But one day is good enough. The other country can be part of India. Indian military is very powerful. Indian policies are very good. We have a lot of relationship with all the powerful country. But we have not done to a small country also. Like Nepal, Burma, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. Small country compared to the big nation. Never. Never gone and invaded any other part of the world with anybody else. Good relation with anybody. So India's policy is let me live. I will also allow somebody to live in their own style. Not put my demand on that. India is the only country where every religion started coming and then putting their hand here. Never said no other religion can come here. No. Let any religion come. Have your own church. Have your own mosques. No problem. Anybody can do anything here. No issue. Understood? So liberal, so acceptable to every culture. Because India is such a place from one place to another place to another place to another place, different language, different culture, different style, different. I keep traveling all across India. I see different food style, different people, different ways of living. I'm exploring. So I can live in any part of the world now. Right?
Very, very important.
That is
Very, very
sustainable.
important.
That is sustainable.
Yeah.
That is sustainable.
Yes.
Live in some
That is
sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidyushavahai. Let me have no enemies in the world. Everybody is my relative.
mm.
Yeah.
And it's all down to the plans you have for yourself, the plans you have, the strategy you have for your country, for your community. It's all down to that. And when we are setting up this, well, I know that sometimes we use SMART to set up the goals and strategy. And even with that, we are not following it if we look at things, because it's like,
Yes.
for example, when we say SMART, we are talking about specific, what you need, not what you want,
Yes.
specific. When we're talking about M, we're talking of measurable. So whatever strategies you are setting, whatever goals, they have to be measurable. And then
Yes.
we're talking about how well can we attain it. Like SMART is A, how you can attain it, how realistic will that be as well, which is the next one. So we need to really be conscious of what we need. No, like you said, yes, it's good to want something. Needs is the basic. That's the whole word. Imagine if we all focus on the needs, then every of our resources can be, we all of us can benefit from the resources if we really focus on that. But when we now say focus, yes, when we now say we want to be crossing the boundary of we want to have more, we want to have more than others. We want to secure our future by keeping other people's money in another bank
Mhm.
or embezzle. You know where I'm coming from, but I don't want to really go to it. But that is reality of life.
True.
Because when you start thinking about that, because what kind of, because like I always ask in some people's questions, what kind of mindset, what kind of state of your mind when you are dealing with corruption, when you are involving in bribery, when you are mismanaging the resources that's supposed to be for a community, a village, and you're putting the money being assigned to you, putting it in another bank, not even the bank within your country, sending the money to another country to be
Swiss,
used.
Swiss bank.
Because any money you pass, any money you transfer to another country, you are helping them to use the money
Yeah.
for their own resources. Are we going to, why will we be thinking about that? I mean, like I always say to people, I think some of my Nigerian leaders can testify. Dr. Fatai Fotowoma, can testify what I want to say. Africans are wealthy. They are rich. They are
but
rich.
but they fight each other. It's all community problems.
They fight each other because of greed.
Yeah.
They fight each other because of their what do you call it now? Their greed, their wants. They fight each other because they are not satisfied with what they
See,
have.
there is a great saying. My head want to be the great,
Mm,
but when I am falling, the head hits. My hand is required to support.
yes.
My head to be high. My leg has to support me. Understand? As a country, every small places is like a part of your body.
Mm,
If everybody stay together, we live longer happily.
exactly.
There is a great saying. Somebody said, I am the most powerful one, thumb. Because everywhere I put my signature, this is my identity, fingerprint is my identity. So my hand says I am the most powerful fellow. Yes, thumb is the most powerful fellow. Immediately the pointing finger says, I only can point you, I only can point me. I am the pointing finger most powerful.
Mm,
The this finger, middle finger says, I am in the middle because two people are in my support. The king always in the middle.
mm,
The subordinates are on the sides. So I am the middle because I am the most powerful fellow.
mm,
The ring finger says, I am the most powerful because you are not there if I don't get married.
mm.
So ring is most important. Correct? Ring is most important. And this fellow has nothing to say. He says, whenever you do any trouble, I will say, please pardon me. So I only stand in the front to secure all of you.
I like that, your wisdom there.
So
Amazing.
you may be very powerful, but there has to be somebody to tell that please save me. Help
Yes,
me, help me,
yes,
help me.
yes. Somebody else. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yes, we're divided, and a house that is divided cannot stand.
So if
And
everybody
when we
stay
are not,
together only, everybody stay
yes,
together only, we can become powerful.
exactly. And that is the time when we all stay together, we'll be able to locate or we'll be able to know what is around
What is
us.
around you? Yeah.
And then another thing is fear of God in respect of any religion, because you cannot have the fear of God and you cannot have the love of God and taking the money that belongs to the nation to somewhere else or to make it to be yours, you know. Or people are then seeing people suffering on the streets, our youth, our children roaming around, no job, no facilities, no education, and then you can now use the money that's supposed to help those youth and then use it and transfer it into your own pocket. So these are all the issues that we are trying to raise. Again, I know sometimes we overlook it.
See,
And
we
when
keep
we,
saying, I wanted to take a cue. You said the religion.
mm,
Every religion says we are spiritual.
mhm,
But I don't know whether my sister looked at the definition of spirituality. In the definition of spirituality, there is no religion at all. The word religion will not come.
mm,
So spirituality is totally independent of religion.
mm,
Religion has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality only talks about being as a naked person without anything, any paraphernalia of unity together individually. The creation of God is called human being, and that thought of connecting me to God is called spirituality.
mm.
There is no religion. But religious people keep talking, we are spiritual. Not we are spiritual. I am spiritual. No two people together is the creation of a God.
Mm-mm.
Only individually you are created. So we
Individually.
are uniting together is religion.
Mm,
Religion was not the purpose of spirituality.
mm,
I don't
mm.
think God has created people to become together to become one and oppose the other people. Right?
No.
Understood. So spirituality
It's
has,
just down
yeah.
it's just down to the, I mean, faith, I mean, spiritually, like you said, it's down to your faith.
Yes.
It's down to your faith.
It is your, not two people.
Mm. So it's
Not
your
our.
faith.
Not our. It is
How gain
your.
better understanding of what your God can do for you.
Yes, yes. And I don't require any medium person for that. I can do myself.
Yeah, it's just like we have Dr. Fatai Toromade in our midst, and he's into tradition. He's a traditional and cultural man. He can also come in his own perspective of what this spirituality is all about, because they deep, they go deep into tradition of 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 how everything started, how we can appreciate the nature, how we can appreciate what God has created, and then in a form of being that our culture is our culture, we need to appreciate that. So
Correct.
that also we can call it like a form of spirituality.
So whenever we say we are a
Yeah,
human being, we are a social being, we are a serious spiritual being, understand my freedom is my freedom, your freedom is your freedom. Understanding somebody's freedom is what staying together.
yeah, very,
Not
very
not
important.
the way I think the no. I cannot say everybody has to look like me, talk like me, speak like me, eat like me. No. Everybody has got different style. A garden is
Yes.
beautiful only when there are multiple flowers.
And I think the message, the statement is, it's not about you have to do it.
Yes.
It's about sharing, because in this world, we are free to share what we
Share. Yes.
believe.
100%.
We are free, we are free to share what you believe, what you belong, your identity. So, but it's not about forcing people into it, but it's about sharing your experience, because every one of us, either you are traditionist or you are educationist or you are spiritualist, one way or the other, we've all benefit from our beliefs.
And
And that's
sharing,
and then and
caring,
then you are
loving.
sharing, exactly, and then you are sharing what you believe.
Correct.
And then it's now down for the person that is listening to you
To accept or not.
to accept. And I think if we get that better understanding, there will be no war,
No why.
especially the one that is going on in Gaza and Israel. Because it's about us. Because, like I keep on saying, that peace is simple understanding. That is peace to me. When you understand yourself, you understand who you are, you understand your identity, you understand your faith, and then you are benefiting from your faith, and
True.
then you understand that because we are human beings, we are not, like you said, we are not equal. Everybody has the right to choose who they serve. Everybody has the right to do what they need to do. Because, like I continue saying, we came to this world alone. We will leave this world alone. And when we were formed in our mother's womb, there's nobody witnessing. And when God gave us the opportunity to come to this earth, there was nothing like you have to be one side or one side. So we need to appreciate that is where we call equality to me, where we need to appreciate human beings with their own differences, because I'm different from Professor TDS, but Professor TDS is different from me. I'm different from Professor Dr. Betty Space. I'm different. I'm also different from Professor Mary, and I'm different from my brother Dr. Fatai. So until we get to that level of understanding, then there will be peace. We all live peacefully. It's not too late. And that's why this YYCI and other organizations are constantly bringing this kind of masterclass, so that we can engage our mindset and renew our mindset and keep growing our mindset for transformation. Because whatever we are doing today is generational. It's not about now, it's about what our youth that are coming in or they've already established themselves, they've already reached, and their children and children's children. So gaining better understanding is, to me, is peace. Because if I can understand Dr. TPS that is from India, and I can just understand Dr. Betty from USA, and I can understand Dr. Fatai from Nigeria, Africa, and even Professor Mary from South Africa. Then, please, look at us sitting down, analyzing. It doesn't cause any argument because we are all matured. And when you are mature, part of my quality of a maturity is understanding. So if we're going to talk about the strategies of SDG, we need better understanding. And that is why you've shared with us today. We need
Thank
to
you
know
so
the
much.
difference. Yes, if you are going to be strategized the next time, then you need to understand some few principles, just like when I was studying business studies. And we have to understand the competition between the industry, I mean, within the industry, and then we have to know the SWOT analysis for us to gain better understanding why Tesco is operating in that way, why Ford, the car, producer is acting that way, why the sports people, they are operating that. So when we understand the analysis, the SWOT, the strength, and same thing happens to even ourselves. When we know our strength, our weakness, the opportunity, the threats, then we'll be able to integrate. And that is where we be better understanding. Like I always say, something about relationship is just this simple way. You are strong in one area. I am weak in one area. So your strength will attract my weakness, and my weakness will attract your strength. So you help me, I help you. That is what relationship. Am I right? I've got my professors on it. I mean,
Yeah, accept people as they are,
as they are.
and transform them to a higher and better and higher
Yes,
wisdom, so that the relationship, that is what your class is, relationship is what matters. Keep a
yes,
mindset for transformation from one layer to the next layer to next layer, where you have got a self realization,
yes.
blissfulness, not short term happiness but long term happiness.
Hmm.
That's what it
So
is.
on this note, if I should continue our conversation,
I
we'll
know,
be
I
here
know.
all day,
We have no
and
end.
we still have amazing speakers.
Thank you so
So
much.
this is the connection between a mentee and a mentor. We can be here all day asking questions.
Yeah.
Professor TPS is my mentor. So you can see how I was flowing.
Thank you so much.
So please let us round up and then call on the next speaker.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.